Aloha Algebra 1 students, today we're going to be talking about converting standard form to slope-intercept form. So this is our graphic organizer that we're going to be using, and you do need a writing utensil like a pencil or a pen, and also one highlighter. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with putting in our standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. And we're going to take you're going to be given standard form of this equation, and you're going to convert it to our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And the reason we convert it to slope-intercept form is because usually when we're given a linear equation, we need to graph it. And we only know how to graph the equation once we have our slope and our y-intercept. So once we have slope-intercept form. Okay, so let's start with the process, and you'll notice that on the graphic organizer, the instructions have been written for you, and so we're going to be writing in the practice side. Here is our equation example that we're going to start off with. 2x minus 3y equals negative 6. And when we're changing from standard form to slope-intercept form, what we're really doing is we're isolating the x. We're trying to isolate the y. We're trying to get the y by itself. And so we're going to take all of this stuff, or in this case, our 2x minus 3, and we're going to get that to the other side of the equation. And we want y by itself. So the first step in this is getting rid of the x's. And we know that when we're trying to move x to the other side of the equation, it's going to be based upon the value. So this is a positive 2x. In order to get rid of positive 2x, we need to do the opposite, which is minus 2x or negative 2x. And whatever I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other side of the equation. Okay, these will cancel out, 2x and 2x. And this is what's left of this equation. On this left side, I have negative 3y, because this cancels, so I drop my negative 3y. And on the right side, I have negative 6 minus 2x. And you'll notice that we do not combine the terms, because they are not like terms. This has an x, this is just a constant with no x, so we cannot combine them together. We cannot combine them. Okay, we're going to continue on with our negative 3y equals negative 6 minus 2x. And we're continuing to isolate the y. So whatever is in front of the y, we need to divide it to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to divide it by negative 3. But whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the whole equation. So divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. And let's simplify and let's figure out what we have left. So negative 3 and negative 3 cancel out to become 1. So I just have my y. And negative 6 divided by negative 3 is positive 2. And negative 2x divided by negative 3 is going to be a positive 2 over 3, because negative divided by negative is a positive, and our x stays on the outside of our fraction. So positive 2/3 x. So it is not in our slope-intercept form yet. So we're just going to rearrange it. And remember that when we rearrange on the same side of the equation, the values stay the same. We do not change the values. And so I'm just going to move 2/3 x up here. And I'm going to move 2 to the back because this is our order. mx plus b. And we know that the slope is right next to the x. So it's going to be moved forward. And the 2 is going to be moved in the back. So we're just flip-flopping its parts. And again, because it's on the same side of the equation, the value does not change. We do not change them to become our opposites. Okay, so we have y equals mx plus b. So from this equation, we know that m is equal to 2/3 and b is equal to positive 2. And when we're looking at these equations, we do need to make sure that we've simplified. And we also want to keep our slope as a fraction, even after we simplified, so that when we graph it, it's easier to graph. Okay, so that is how we convert from standard form to slope-intercept form. I'm going to show you a different process. This is a second way of how to change it, but this is using a formula. And these, so go ahead and lift up this graphic organizer and write this underneath. And this is the formula. Slope is equal to negative a divided by b, and y-intercept, our b, is equal to c divided by b. Now we get these letters from our equation. And if you look back from what we looked at here, we have ax plus by equals c. A is always in front of the x, b is always in front of the y, and c is the number that's going to be by itself. And it has to be in this order, with ax plus by equals c on the other side of the equation, in order to use these formulas. Okay, so here's our a, here's our b, and here's our c. And I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead and notate that same equation, but the number in front of the x being the a, the number in front of the y being the b, and the number that's by itself being the c. And again, remember, it has to be in this order. X, then y, and then on the other side of the equation, we have c by itself. Okay. So once we understand, or once it's in this order, or once we can identify and confirm that it's in this order, then we're allowed to use these formulas. If you plan to use the formulas instead of using this conversion process, I just ask that you show all of your work. So this is what I'm expecting you to write. Okay, so for your m, we know that m is equal to negative a over b. And in this case, a is 2, so negative a is going to be negative 2, and b is equal to negative 3, so it becomes negative 3. Negative 2 divided by negative 3 become positive 2 over 3. Okay, let's go to our b's. We know that b is equal to c divided by b. B is equal to c, sorry, our y-intercept is equal to big C divided by big B, meaning our B and C in our equation. Okay, so C is equal to negative 6, B is equal to negative 3, so negative 6 divided by negative 3 is equal to positive 2. And that would be what it's equal to. And as you can see, we're getting the same answers. So again, there's two ways we can do this. You can do it with conversion, or you can do it with the formulas. If you do conversion, I expect to see all of your work. Or if you do formulas, I expect to see all of this work. And you do need to rewrite the formula. You're going to write m equals negative a over b equals, and then you're going to continue the process until you get your answer. And for slope-intercept, you would do b equals c over b equals, and then again, using your numbers, follow through on the process. Okay, remember, if you have any questions or concerns, make sure that you come in and see me, and I can help you with any clarification. Okay, have an awesome day.